fuck is that thing? Ugh. That thing looked deadly. I wonder if that's the same clutch cover. That's the 261. It looks like it. Pack all of these parts into a small box. Dude, like that's terrible. My buddy's 500i filter was looking like. Just, I'm not even going to attempt to dust it off. Let's see here. I'm going to set my box up over here. Kids can play with that. Gotta work on that. Piston stop. Coffee spoon, sandpaper. This is cool to have. There's MS661 boot. I can use it later for measuring. Leave it right there for now. But yeah, I just have my box right here. That would be nice. Anybody I know in the chat? It's like really hard to read my chat the way I've got the phone set up. But it doesn't look like anybody's put anything down anyway. Anyway, tear down of a MS462 that got run over by a truck. That's the big ouch, a giant hole in the oil tank. So this entire case half of the saw is destroyed. And that's a couple of $100 right off the bat. The cover is mangled. The gas tank has a giant hole in it. You can see, like it's like looking down into the crack of a cave. So there's a gas tank. I already know aftermarket's around 50, 60, about 60 bucks. You know, one of these is not a lot. The crankcase half, I would never go aftermarket, so right off rip, we're looking at 250 bucks. I guess it just depends on what the cylinder looks like. once I get it apart and what the crankcase looks like, how badly this thing is damaged. I know there's some more plastics right here that are damaged. Anywho, let's get into it. Oh my God, yeah. It's bad. It's bad. It doesn't feel very secure. Oh yeah, but that's because that is torn off over there. Put that right inside the air filter. Get this cover off of here. Got one black wire running to it. And I already know that that ain't right. Yeah, all that just, that got mangled too. I know that that's not shaped like that. Damn, dude. Carburetor's probably screwed up. Yeah, there's like this weird clicking sound. Throttle still works, but you know, that's the old gas tank anyway. Let's see if we can get this off of here without getting sprayed. Okay, that's better because I couldn't see jack shit. I don't know why this looks so foreign to me. I know I've torn mine down, but it's been a while. Got that part. That's just hanging on to that. Okay, that's off of that. I want to get this off of there, but it's hanging on to that. Weird. I don't remember this part. I remember this saw being super easy to tear down, but this all has been bent out of shape. There goes a piece of plastic. So I imagine that this would pop off of there. I don't know, man. Not letting go. this is going to have to be there in a certain position for that plastic piece to come off of there. And that was it. Just had to be in the right position. No telling whether the carburetor is okay at this point or not. One thing I did notice is that it has a little clicking action going on the throttle lever. So we'll find out eventually, maybe. All right, I know there's some more parts in here. This guy here. This guy here. Fuel line there. Fuel line there. All right, that's off. And as far as I know, this is intact. This piece is definitely not. Maybe I'll put all of the broken pieces to this side. And all of the savable pieces in the box. Who's in there? Ground pounder? Is that you? I can't read the comments from way down here. Excellent. Double tap that screen. Welcome. Drop a comment. Don't be a fucker. Don't be a lurker. And one and only. Alright, man. Hell yeah. I'm gonna set this back up there. I used like these goggles hanging on a couple of my hangers up there and like set the phone in the goggles because somebody was saying that this would be a good view for working, and I didn't have like a special phone mount, but this works. Dude, so you can see that this crankcase half of the oil tank is see into it, you know. We could go caving in there, go splunking. And also right here we could go splunking down into the gas tank. The saw was run over by a truck and I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh man, that's not so bad, you know. I can see the gas tank was damaged and some of these plastics were damaged. Let me take it home and have a look at it for you, as well as a 261 that he gave me. It needs some parts and an engine. Um, OEM would suck because the saws aren't that expensive to begin with, but aftermarket, that saw is a possibility. And this one, I get it home and I set it on the bench and I'm like, oh. Apparently when it got ran over here, it jammed it into some pavement or something over there. So this saw is freaking totaled. I mean, maybe. The piston looks pretty good. And I really can't see what the cylinder looks like because I went to go rotate the piston and it wouldn't go all the way down and stopped because of the damage to the crankcase. So this might be a parts saw. There might be a way with the $200 there and some money on the plastics here and some aftermarket mixed in that this could be a working 462 for a certain amount of money versus what they are new. It could be worth it, but I just won't know until I tear it down and separate what's good and bad and add it all up. The 500 I did for a buddy. It's all ready to go. I let him know that the total cost was going to be exactly $800. Like all of the little stuff added up to exactly $800. It was funny. $550 on the porting work. I spent 3 days on it, and that's, you know, a really long time to spend on it, but I am not all that experienced, so doing a good job. Definitely took time. Seems like the handle is a bit bent. Didn't look like it was bent, but I should be able to access that screw a little easier. But yeah, like the airflow max flow air system, the rim sprocket, all the little parts that he needed for it, plus the upgrades like the max flow and the pipe I put on there for him. It all added up to 800, and he was like, whoa, that's more than I thought it was going to be. But I explained to him where his money is spent, and I showed him a picture of how I added it all up, and he's cool with it. He's going to get me paid and get his saw back. He's very excited about it. All right, that's kind of yuck. Start assembly is good. Always the best. Always fun. Right off of here. There we go. Get you off there, if you'll have it. Yeah. Okay, we have another piece just kind of laying around. Where did that come from? Now I'm playing puzzle games. Dude, I could have sworn that was, I just saw that somewhere. I think it's a part of the gas tank. Are more pieces falling apart now? Alright, this piece here goes on that, I know. So I don't want to lose that. I remember ordering one of those for one of my saws because I noticed that something there was missing. Okay, that can go in there like so. Freaking gas tank is almost off. Which is not a good sign. Let's go ahead and get it off. Impulse line going to the tank. Damn, dude, I'm gonna have to bust out some more air. All right. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I could get the gas tank OEM with just the tank itself, because I've got the tank vent, I've got the gas lines, like the springs, everything is in good shape. It doesn't leak, other than this giant hole in it right there. So I know the cap is good. I think, I don't know, is that cap good? No, the cap is loose. That might just be the tank. Anyway, definitely a bad part, but it's got some good parts on it. I'll set it over here. Let's get the muffler off. When I first started messing around, getting into the saws, I had to like organize all of the screws and make notes of where they came from. Damn, that was in there. But now I just know. This guy, where did this one come from? Still not a bad idea to make notes. This one came from attaching the gas tank. It was holding the spring for the gas tank onto one of the case halves here, right there. And this is the part of the case half that's bad. So, I'll leave it there for now so I know where it goes. But yeah, the muffler took damage. It's bent right there. But other than that, the muffler's in good shape. I could fix that. I could get that bent back out and tapped back into the place it needs to be. And same goes with the cover. That's not far off from getting it together. That could be worked. All right, let's get the flywheel off. All this stuff is good. It'd be cool if I could get one of these attachments with like a little brush on it, and then I could run air with a brush at the same time. Like, that would do a really good job at cleaning a lot of this stuff. But, you know, yeah, there probably is something like that. All right. It's still pretty well on there. I think I got it. Yep. Flywheel looks good. None of the fins are busted. I knew I had a flywheel nut. Yeah, just stick that right on the magnet. Get this whole chainsaw packed into the box. Decompression valve looks okay. Somewhat moment of truth. Try not to rip this off of there. Dude, heck yeah. As I suspected by looking at the face of the piston, you know, I see all this coking that I saw by looking through the muffler, but I did not see scoring. I can see piston lines, you know, the little horizontal factory lines that help hold oil on its up and down. So yeah, that's cool. Inspect it all the way down, dude. Yeah, cylinder's good. I mean, there's a bright side. By taking it apart and seeing what the muffler looked like and the pull start system and how clean the carburetor looked after being blown off. It doesn't look like it's an old saw. It just got run over by a truck. What's up, Mrs. GP? We got squiggles in here? That be broken. Yeah, it is broken. But dude, the cylinder and get some shine going on there, and you can't really see everything at all, but let's see, yeah. Cylinder looks freaking awesome. So that's definitely a bright side. My intake, my strato, air transfers, and the exhaust roof all looking phenomenal. All right, you are a broken piece. Dude, party poppers. I see party poppers. Am I in the chat? All right, what else? What else? Yeah, dude, like the rim sprockets. The rim sprocket's not worn out. Okay, let's investigate further. I can tell. This stuff runs out quick. That's what I'm talking about, like having some air with a brush on it would be cool. Just all right. I mean the imagine how much dirt is under the workbench. I have to go under there and vacuum, clean it all out. Alright, so this is obviously messed up. The impulse line. The line that goes to the gas tank. That is a rubber nub. Wiring coming from the oh yeah, I'm gonna need a smaller thing there.
well, this ain't bad, man. As far as doing a complete tear down and getting into a case half, I mean, I'm almost there. Let's see what we got. Looks like one of these guys. And then I feel like I'm missing. I feel like I'm missing a wire. Where'd it go? That wire going to there, and then there was another wire that went over to this guy. Did I put it in the box? Anybody see me put it in the box? There's the wire lever. There's that piece. There's the air filter. There's the clutch cover. There's the muffler system. The pull start system. Where the heck is that kill switch wire? That's not it. Yeah, it's not in here. Is it? Is it in here? No. Alright, what did I do with it? I think it was, let's see, it was missing. Something was broken loose. I know there was something missing. And it goes to there. It's the kill switch wire, like, and this is all broken and mangled, so it needs that, it needs this part, it needs the kill switch wire. Should probably start writing all this down. I'm not sure what to call this, but carburetor housing and kill wire. That's enough to get my memory going when I go to looking up the parts and everything. Alright, let me put you guys back over here. You guys. Can go in there. Okay, put that in there. You know what? Just so I know where these go exactly when the time comes. If the time comes, this is either going to be a parts saw or it's going to be a rebuild. It depends on what it's going to cost. That. impulse line can just come off of here. Gotcha. What else? Chain brake's intact. So the ignition system needs to come apart, obviously. I think everything has to come apart. That. Just hit it real quick. Almost there. Yep, that's part of the casing. Let's go ahead and get the clutch off. Dude. Alright. That is okay. We can still get the clutch off, I believe. I'm just going to put this in there. Grab this guy. Alright, we got the clutch. Stay in there for now. Pretty sure that just pulls out of there. Yeah, there we go. Oil in system is next. Dude, do I need to tear everything down to get to where I need to get? I believe so. So let's keep going. Got some wear and tear on the chain brake cover. I guess that, I mean, the chainsaw's not that old, so running loose chain, I would imagine.
It's got a hole in it. That's where the chain slaps around if it's really loose. Dude, this all needs to be cleaned so bad anyway. Alright. Where is my... I feel like I got one on the table somewhere. Because, yeah, the gray one is missing. My, Okay. Oh. Damn. Don't lose this tiny little piece to a box of parts, but it's all good. Yeah, I'm gonna keep you over here for now with that stuff. All right, cool, that's out of the way. Dude, this thing is such a mess. Can't. There. Okay. Can't see what's going on with it. Alright. Some things you just want to keep in place. I mean, that's a common little screw for these guys anyway. You can find its home fairly simple. Alright, so we have a tiny little spring in there, and that little guy right there. Is that held in by a clip? Yes, it is. So that's cool, that's not going anywhere. I could just slap this clip back on here so I know where it's at all times. If it'll go, I don't know. Screw it. You guys, we're going in here. It's all good. Let's hope this thing doesn't fall apart on me. Oh yeah, that's clipped in, that's hooked around there, that's fine. What else needs to go here? Good Lord, it works. But man, look, it's pumping oil. It definitely works. That's cool, I've never seen that before. Just turn it a little bit and the oil starts pumping. It's a good oil pump. Hell yeah. Yeah, I think I'm there. I got the clip. And the bearing. And the seal.
And the seal over here. The dogs can just stay on. All right, so there is 1, 2, 2 spots in there. And then we have this guy here. I don't know. I think, yeah, that's the one. You needed to come off, but it's fine that you did. So now I'm treading into uncharted territories. Splitting, I've never split a case before. A buddy of mine said it's easy, I can do it. But I'm going to need to consult with him and watch some videos and possibly buy a tool. But I'm pretty sure if I get with my guy, I probably won't have to buy any tools. I'll just be able to do it with what I have around the garage, because that's how my buddy rolls. There's a lot of cleanup on parts to get it back together and have it be awesome. There's a lot of cleanup involved in there. But dude, yeah, I am very pleased with the piston and cylinder at the very least. Like, if this thing ends up being too much and too expensive to fix up for the dude, and I can get it for cheap as a parts saw, then I have scored myself a piston and cylinder to play with on the lathe, because I also have a 462 that I can plug and play the cylinders with. All right, piston rings, I'm not just gonna flop them wherever. I'll put them in here. So I'll get the piston in here too. Freaking ring is not budging. Good God. Things getting ready to jump. It's like it wants to go, and it looks like it's getting ready to pounce and just bounce to God knows where. But instead, right at that moment where it's about to go, this slips and stabs me in the thumb. What the hell? If I could just rotate it a little bit, it would be a lot easier to pop out. And that's usually what I do, but this thing is not moving. Okay. Same thing happened to me yesterday. Like, I couldn't get it moving, and then I finally got it moving. I got it. Haha. Things you don't want to lose. Okay. Get this guy. And this guy. That little guy. Nice. Dude, I took apart my 500i yesterday, and I found this needle bearing from it in a bin over there, like with my firewood chips, and it's like, dude, what does that go to? And I look over there at my crankshaft on the 500i, and I'm like, okay, that's where I was setting it with the timing wheel, and I almost lost that bitch. It really would have sucked. Alright, now we can drop you on there. Put you in here. Now, spark plug looks good. The saw is not that old. That spark plug on that 500i I did the other day, and he said that one was a few years old, was bad looking. That takes a little bit of age to get looking like that. And this crankshaft looks great. So now what? Now what do I do? Bust out the pressure cleaner. And hit the case. Get it really, really clean. Kind of scared of losing those parts, but no, they don't seem to want to come off easily, so that's cool. What do I do now? Okay, I can put a few tools away. Don't use water. Yeah, because the crankcase and the bearings. Yeah, that would be a bad idea. You know, I've used pressure cleaner on like the pull cord assembly and clutch covers and you know, certain parts of the chainsaws you don't mind getting wet. And I've even done where you've got the chainsaw together and just make sure that the muffler is bagged and the intake is bagged, and pressure clean the crap out of the saw. So that way when you go to dismantle it and you pull the engine, you know, pull the cylinder off, there's not a bunch of dirt trying to fall into the crankcase. It does a really good job. And it was a good idea given to me by, I saw it, Steve
Steve with Small Engine Saloon. No, it wasn't him. It was Terry, nicknamed Pterodactyl. He's like a two-cycle lawnmower chainsaw mechanic, and he's got a YouTube channel, and he puts out very cool, useful, educational content. Oh, there goes the air compressor. You know him? Yeah, he puts on like the goopy teeth and the hair and complete goofball, but I saw him do a video on an MS 661 teardown. I don't know if he did anything to it, putting it back together. No, he just tore it down, fixed what was wrong with it, and the whole way from teardown to rebuild, there was a lot of learning involved. I should probably go back and watch that just to make sure I remember what I learned. What's wrong with the saw? It got run over by a truck. You can see the crack in the magnesium, the bash, the hole into the oil intake area. Now the bottom of it, the seam there looks good. And we're looking good all the way to where the crankshaft is. It just starts to go awry right here and there where I think it got run over from like the back, and that pushed this part of the saw into some pavement. Or God knows what. I wasn't there to witness that. But I was told it was run over. A goner. Yeah, but how long have you been watching? The piston and the cylinder are beautiful. And there's some broken plastics. I know right off the rip, this case half is $200. I just need to add up all of the other parts. And, time and labor to put it all back together. And knowing this guy, if he's got the money for it, he'll want me to port it. It's the MS462. It's a manual carburetor. Same exact one like I got. Coffee. I have a MS462. Before I bought a lathe and started getting into porting, I was always tinkering with my saws over the 6 years I've been climbing. So with that saw, I opened it up and I think I raised the intake a hair and I raised the exhaust a hair. I have the numbers written down, but it liked it, It has wicked throttle response. It's very fast. Still has all the torque it has. And it's a workhorse. I use it all the time. Worked the crap out of it this year and the year before. Might be worth fixing. Yeah, it's an expensive saw. When I initially brought it home, this guy had this orange toolbox in his backyard, like a 5 foot by 3 foot tall, rigid steel toolbox, and he opens it up and there's a bunch of broken saws in it. It's full. So I start digging through it. He's trying to look for something for me to do, something for me to repair. Ask Tyrell if he has a case. Who's that? I need more connections. That'd be cool. Ground Pounder's like, I'm here. I know Tyrell. I can hook you up with him. I'll send his telephone number to you right now. I'm still alive. So, Ground Pounder's good like that. I wouldn't doubt it. So yeah, I get some. I find a 261 in there. It's missing a couple of parts. The cylinder and piston on it are pretty fried. I got his. Of course you do. Of course you do. You know, I was wondering, like, I don't know. I don't know if GP knows this Tyrell character, but I wouldn't put it past him. Most of GP's phone storage is used up from his gigantic list of contacts. Yeah, 462 case half. That would be freaking awesome, because it's got a smudge mark on the good case half over here where it saw some pressure. But no, sir, it looks fine. So, and like I said, the crankshaft, man, it's solid. So this would be like my first time ever busting all the way into a chainsaw and replacing, I'll replace the seals. The bearings, I hear, are not terribly expensive. Like if I'm in there, I'm going to want to replace the crank seals and the bearings. That works at a cell store, bruh. Oh, you're talking about pterodactyl? Oh, like actually get in touch with that man? I never thought to get in touch with him. Like I see his YouTube channel and I comment and watch his videos. Not so much now as I used to. Same with Steve with Small Engine Saloon. He's really good. I'm a human Rolodex. I know everything. That works at a cell store, bro. I gotta get ready for the boys' tournament. Awesome, GP. Happy New Year. God bless. God bless you. Happy New Year. For real, GP, you got Pterodactyl's phone number? The guy with the fake gangly teeth and the wig. He has a YouTube channel. He does small engine repairs. He's very good. He just opened up a new shop. Rebuilt. I'm ready. That was fast. That was like freaky fast. That was faster than, what's that place that delivers food freaky fast? It was faster than them. I don't have those digits. I can work on it. I don't think it's, he owns a business and he's on YouTube, so I imagine I could find his business and give him a call. Fastest thumbs this side of Mississippi. Bruh. No, they're in my truck. My new shades, man, they're pretty cool. They're green, my favorite color. I guess now it's almost 8 o'clock. Views. I don't know about those watch hours, man. I checked on my watch hours. They're staying exactly the same. Maybe it just takes a little time for them to register onto the watch hours, but as of right now, they're not moving. I gotta make that I gotta pee video where I'm out on the limb for and it was the shittiest limb to be on, man. I already knew from the ground, looking at the way this one went sideways and then up and was as tall as the rest of the tree. that it was going to be a climb out there with my lifeline going pretty sideways. The climb out there wasn't that bad, but when I got out there, like, my lifeline was now in conflict with the way pieces needed to come down. You know, it was in the way. It would have been smart to have a second lifeline and reset a lifeline there and drop that lifeline, and then I wouldn't have had that in the way. But because just the way it sucked, man, you know, like this one piece had to go this way, but there's stuff down there, so I just had to let it go. And then the guys had to lift on it and get it to come out and down over that way. And there was a few pieces like that. There was a piece with my lifeline in the way. It took a long time. We had just gotten from lunch break, went up in the tree, and as soon as I get all the way out and up on that branch, I gotta pee. Like, I was, hurry up, I gotta pee. Fuck this branch. Like, it sucked. It didn't go away, and it bothered the crap out of me. I didn't realize I was recording the entire time, that I was like cursing that I gotta pee. Oh, like, I gotta go back and look at that footage and maybe edit out any few curse words that might be in there, like the man, I gotta pee, and post that one. I guess I'll do that today because I have this to work on, but not until I have further education on splitting it properly. And then I ain't got no job. I ain't got shit else to do. What the hell am I gonna do today, man? It's Saturday. Go give away hot dogs at the park. Got no job. Yeah, like the 261. I could go. I need to do some test cuts. I am, man. I am. Like, I'm gonna regret saying I need work if I keep saying it, because I'm gonna get so overloaded with work and crazy jobs. I'm gonna be like, oh god. But it's a little nerve-wracking right now because the car insurance, the truck, and the rent are all coming up with little bills in between, you know, and I have only enough for the car insurance. But, you know, everything's kind of coming up and along within the next few weeks. I wonder when anybody else in the household is going to wake up. My oldest isn't here right now. He's at his mom's. Oh, shish kebab. Oh yeah, I gotta have the kids break up all of the pecan wood that I cut. They'll take all the little discs that I cut and bust it up with wood chisels and get it into like wood chips. And we got to get that in water because we got a pork butt. I think I'm gonna cook it on the grill, but like in a pot where it can stew and cook and bubble in all of its own juices and sauces and stuff. And then after it's cooked like that for a little while, then I'm gonna throw the pecan over the coals and finish it off by smoking it. That's the plan. I don't know how it's gonna come out, but it's probably gonna be pretty good. So we've got that to do, got that to work on. I have two 261s that need to see some action, see how they're doing, how they're cutting. One of them has a possible air leak that nobody's been able to find so far, and the other one is no air leak to it. It's just a test cylinder, trying to see if I can get it ticking. Wild numbers on it. Should cut like a monster, but doesn't quite. You know, I'm not that impressed with it. the intake was blown out, so I rebuilt the intake because that was not working with epoxy and shaping tools and stuff like that, and I rebuilt the intake back to the way that it should be, so it starts and fires up like it should, without all that extra fuel in it. Um, if I'm not happy with the way it performs this time, I still won't be done with it. I believe I can go in and shape the transfers better and see what that does. Yeah, everything is going to be a learning tool. Even a cylinder that might not be working or working out can still be a learning tool. Upper transfers are difficult. They take precision tooling to get to. The tooling is not cheap. Not everybody can do it. And I believe that's why saw builders stand out from anybody with regular tools that's just going in there and boring some stuff out, because we have the ability to tweak things a certain way with those tools that can show a difference on the job sites and in the cut. So the upper transfer work, there's always some testing to be done there. How I did them versus how I can do them now. Oh, I'm just sitting here talking now, man. Ugh. Meow. Dude, I've got this, like, not this instant, but yeah, I mean, I can feel it a little bit, where I've got the nerves off of the cervical spine coming down my arm to my fingertips. Like the decompression, I believe, needs to be done more at the chiropractor. Instead of every 3 months, I believe I need to do it every month, because it's coming back on me. All right, man. If you're out, I'm out. The people watching is dropping like flies anyway, and you're the only one communicating with me. Have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Love you too.